From the moment the knock echoed through the quiet hallway of his small apartment, Aiden Brooke felt something shift in the air, an unexplainable tension, like life was about to take a turn he could neither predict nor control. He had placed the room for rent sign on the door out of desperation, not hope. His savings were draining faster than he could refill them. His part-time night shifts weren't stretching far enough, and raising his 8-year-old son, Milo, alone in the aftermath of heartbreak, had worn him thinner than he dared admit. But when he opened the door that afternoon, sunlight spilling behind the two nearly identical young women standing before him, he had no idea that the strangers asking for a room were about to challenge everything he thought he knew about grief, trust, and second chances. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that stir the heart, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts to support more meaningful stories like this one that the twin girls introduced themselves simply as Rhea and Callie Marson. They were college sophomores looking for a temporary place near campus while their dorm building underwent surprise renovations. They wore the same bright red tops, carried matching satchels, and spoke with a polite calmness that felt rehearsed, almost guarded. Aiden sensed something mysterious about them, but he turned those thoughts away. He needed the extra rent. He needed the help. And truth be told, Milo needed company. It had been months since the little boy had smiled the way he used to before his mother walked out of their lives without warning. The first few days passed quietly. The twins kept mostly to themselves, though Milo seemed fascinated by them, often peeking down the hallway or pretending to fetch water from the kitchen just to pass by their open door. Rhea was the warmer one, always offering a shy smile when she caught Milo watching her. Callie stayed more distant, focused, almost suspicious of the world around her. Aiden noticed, but he didn't pry. After the betrayal he'd endured with Milo's mother, he had learned to keep his distance from other people's secrets, but the secrets had a way of seeping out. One night, Aiden came home from his late shift to find the lights still on in the living room. Rhea sat on the couch with a pile of textbooks, but she wasn't studying. She was crying silently, tears falling with such restraint it looked like she'd learned to hide them well. Aiden paused, feeling torn between giving privacy and offering comfort. Before he could decide, she quickly wiped her face and stood, apologizing for being awake so late. She hurried past him with a forced smile, leaving behind a strange ache in the room, an ache Aiden recognized too intimately. The feeling of someone carrying far more than they allowed the world to see. The next morning, he found Callie at the dining table filling out paperwork with the intensity of someone fighting a deadline that meant more than just grades. When she realized Aiden was watching, she quickly closed the file and excused herself. Milo told Aiden that the twin girls whispered a lot at night, sometimes too softly for him to hear, other times angrily enough that their voices trembled. Rhea sometimes slept on the couch, and Callie often paced the hallway long after midnight. Aiden considered asking if they were all right, but he feared crossing boundaries. He had been the recipient of too many invasive questions after his ex left. Questions about what he could have done better, how he could have saved the relationship, what he planned to do next. He promised himself he would never force anyone to reveal what they weren't ready to share, but life has a way of breaking open the things we try hardest to keep closed. The turning point came one Saturday morning when Milo accidentally knocked over a glass in the kitchen. It shattered loudly, and Callie, who had been studying nearby, froze as if struck. Her face went pale. Rhea rushed in immediately, placing her hands gently on her sister's shoulders until Callie's breathing steadied. Aiden watched, stunned, as Callie whispered that she was fine and fled to their room. Rhea followed closely behind. That same afternoon, while Aiden was making lunch, Rhea spoke up with a timid sincerity he hadn't heard before. She explained that they hadn't come from a normal home. Their father had been abusive, emotionally unpredictable, and physically violent. They had escaped him only a year earlier with the help of a family shelter program. And even though they were legally safe now, they carried scars invisible to most people. Sudden noises set Callie off. Unexpected movements made her flinch. Trust came slowly to them, almost painfully so. Aiden listened in stunned silence as Rhea shared the pieces of their lives they had never told anyone outside of social workers. She admitted they had chosen his rental listing because she sensed something gentle about the home, something that felt safe. Aiden felt an unexpected swell of emotion rush through him. For so long, He believed his home was quiet because it was empty, because so much had been taken from it. He never imagined someone might see it as a refuge. From that day on, the atmosphere in the apartment shifted. Milo, in his innocent kindness, began leaving small drawings outside their door, little sketches of superheroes, bright suns, and notes saying "Have a good day." Ria taped every single one to the wall above their shared desk. Callie, reserved as she was, began warming up too, showing curiosity in Milo's homework, offering him help when he struggled with fractions. Aiden found himself talking to the twins more and more, while cooking dinner, while walking Milo to school, while fixing squeaky cabinet doors in the kitchen. Slowly he learned that Ria wanted to be a pediatric nurse, and Callie dreamed of becoming a psychologist so she could help children living through trauma. Their dreams were fueled not by ambition, but by experience, by the pain they wished to spare others. Months passed, and the three of them, Aiden, Milo, and the twins, settled into an unexpected harmony. They became a strange, makeshift family, each one of them mending wounds simply by being present for one another. Aiden realized how deeply he had been starving for connection, for companionship, for people who understood the quiet battles he fought every day. And the twins found in Aiden the father figure they had never known, steadfast, patient, gentle, unwavering. But the true test of their bond arrived when a letter came in the mail addressed to the twins. Aiden handed it to them without thinking, but the moment Callie saw the return address, a state office, she nearly dropped it. That night, the girls approached Aiden with fear clouding their faces. Their father had been released early on parole. Their old social worker warned that while he was not allowed near them, he had attempted to request their whereabouts. Aiden's stomach twisted painfully. He saw the terror return to Callie's eyes, the trembling hands, the shallow breaths. He saw Ria fighting to stay strong for her sister even as her own body shook. They were terrified to stay, terrified to leave, and even more terrified to put Aiden and Milo at risk. Aiden made his decision without hesitation. He vowed that they would not face this alone. He upgraded the apartment locks, registered for emergency alerts, and contacted a lawyer to understand every legal protection available. He talked to Milo gently, reassuring him while teaching him important safety steps. And through it all, he stayed close to the twins, present but never overwhelming, supportive but never intrusive. Days stretched into weeks before they finally received confirmation that their father had violated parole on another issue and was taken back into custody. The moment they heard the news, Callie broke down completely, not with fear, but with release. Ria wrapped her arms around her, and Aiden quietly gave them space, though his own heart felt impossibly full. Sometimes, family isn't formed by blood. Sometimes, it's formed by broken people choosing one another. If this story has touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts so we can continue bringing more stories that remind us of the good still left in the world. Before we end, we ask you one special thing. Comment below what moment in this story moved you the most. As spring arrived, the apartment felt different, not a place of quiet survival anymore, but one of growth and healing. The twins flourished in their studies. Milo laughed more than ever, and Aiden, once lonely, burdened, and tired, felt the warmth of connection slowly undoing the cold he'd lived with for so long. Their lives weren't perfect, but they were shared, intertwined, and stronger because of the storms they had weathered together. Aiden had opened his home to two strange college twin girls, but what he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that they would fill the empty spaces in his life with something he thought he had lost forever: hope, healing, and a family he never expected. Thank you for watching Bright Hearts. Stay kind, stay hopeful, and never underestimate the power of second chances.